So Liz was taking a nap yesterday, back on story, and I saw this trend of, posting their non-beard, non-facial hair stuff, and I took a photo, I sent it to Liz's Snapchat, and I'm like, all right, it's time to wake her up. I just called her from the patio, and I'm like, hey, it's time to wake up. I need you to check your Snapchat. And I have the door open, cracked, and she goes, what the fuck was that? This can't be real. And I walked in, and it had the mustache on. She's like, oh my gosh. She was like so happy that.
But I remember like when you didn't have a mustache, like how used to.
Right, how I used to look.
Well, no, how used to seeing you now we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't, like when you first sent it, I was like, oh my God, like that is how he used to look. Like,
right.
It wasn't that long ago either.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it was, it's going on almost a year now. Cause
a year of mustache?
Not a full year of mustache, but like I started growing out everything in March because that's when the NBA shut down and that's when no one was allowed in the building. So it didn't matter what I looked like.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to see my boss at iHeart for what it was supposed to only be a couple months. And I haven't seen her in a year now. Quite literally, I haven't seen my boss in a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been growing out facial hair for a year now, and that's weird to say.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't remember when I started. I always had a line. I always edged it up. I went to barbers for it. I also used to do it myself. Mm-hmm. And then one time when I lost my hair, I started going bald. And I remember trying to save it. I wasn't one of those guys, let me do the comb over. I went to my barber and we went from a 2 on the top to a 1.5, 1. And he kept telling me, he's like, dude, we just got to take it. And I'm like, no. And I'd been bald before, but this is the only time I fought being bald. And I was like, Gilberto, take it. So we shaved. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, it, we need face hair.
Yeah.
And so then that's when I started growing out my beard. I didn't just want a line with a bald head, and I started growing it. And I didn't know anything about not Swamp People, but Duck Dynasty. I didn't know anything about Duck Dynasty. Yeah. God forbid, man. I grew up my fucking beard. Everybody back home was like, oh, who you trying to be? And I'm like, me, why? Yeah. And then they would show me the show, and I'm like, I didn't even know about these guys. God damn it. And then like they don't have their beards and shit like that. Yeah. And I was like, no, like I legit just wanted to grow this fucking thing.
Yeah.
And I let it get long and gangly, and I was like, and then it was just like, man, why didn't y'all tell me I look homeless? So then it was chopping it up and keeping it closer. But I mean, that was before my daughter. So easily 8+ years of having a beard, you know?
When was the last time that you like went completely clean shaven?
Like I told you, when I was trying out for the police academy, I was like, let's try it.
Yeah.
But I was leaner. I was like 180 at the time.
Right.
Getting ready for bodybuilding and trying out for the police academy was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Dude, I had no energy. I had no carbs, coming back to the carb talk.
Yeah.
And had to do the physical fitness test, like with no carbs. So I'm literally out there like 40 carbs a day. 180 pounds down from 275, push-ups, mile run, I was, when I tried out for it, I was in May, I was 2 months out from stepping on stage.
Yeah.
Calf cramps from running,
to
get that, and that was the worst part of the physical fitness.
Yeah.
But I was like, let me try it, let me see what it looked like. So much so that when I had the personal interview, I'd grown my line back, and that was one of the questions in the interview, was did I have a problem being clean shaved? And I said, no, if I get the job, I can get rid of this motherfucker in a heartbeat, but I mean, y'all ain't hired me yet.
Right.
So
So I'm keeping it.
But I have no problem shaving my face if you guys give me the job. I never got the job, so I kept the fucking line.
Nice.
But
yeah.
But yeah, I haven't. I was fucking 20. So 18 years ago was the last time I think I've seen my face.
And now we've got a photo of them. Obviously,
like I told you guys, the word, and that's not even real. So fuck that photo. Snapchat.
Austin and his brother walk into Backbone Barbell one day.
Dueling mustaches?
And I'd never seen his brother. I barely knew Austin. You know, and I'm like, damn, look at that porn stashes. And his brother's like, what the fuck did I just walk into?
Lucas was so intimidated by Backbone and by the gym because Lucas, are we recording?
We've been recording.
Nice. Stache Beard Show, you're watching. We'll record an intro later. But
welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. You've been here for a while. Finger guns! So my brother Lucas, over the summer, Lucas, he came down because like he had nothing going on. Quarantine was happening, COVID, all that sort of stuff. He came down last summer in like August, I think it was, because it was before college classes started up again. he came down and he wanted to come to the gym with me because it was something that Liz and I were big into, and so we're like, all right, come on down. And the first time we came, it was bench press night, and everyone was there. I didn't go to bench press night at the time, so we were just over in the corner doing our own thing, but he was fucking terrified.
Really?
Yeah, because he's like, this is the most intimidating. Do you see how much these motherfuckers are doing over here? Like, because like you had like 7 plates on, and a couple other people were putting big fucking weights on, and it was crowded, because it's Backbone, and so Backbone wasn't a very big place, and it was really hot, and all these giant people that when Lucas is not a small person by any means.
No,
but like he.
How old is he?
He's 23.
Okay,
24.
So what, 2
years.
2 years younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been intimidated by bigger dudes. I've always gone up like, hey, how the did you get this big? What'd you do?
Yeah.
What'd you eat?
Yeah.
What'd you take? What'd you snort? What'd you shoot?
Uh-huh.
All right, I'll go research that.
Yeah.
Like come home at 18 years old, Mom, cocaine and trin, like some guy. And this is back in the day before I knew any of this shit. I was like, this fucking guy, coke and trin, Mom.
What I'm supposed to do?
Yeah, Mom, a meatloaf.
Yeah.
That's how I was, but that was like, God, dude, that was back 17, 18.
Yeah.
Just getting into it. And I would go up to the big dudes and I would literally hey, what are these guys doing? What are these guys eating?
Yeah.
Let me learn their secrets. I was never intimidated, I would talk to anybody and everybody, That was, I don't know, but to each their own.
Yeah.
Everybody's different, when they do their thing. I was never intimidated. I'll walk up to you and be like, motherfucker, you're big.
Yeah.
How would you do? How'd you get there? And that's what I would do.
There was I am now that way. I was not always that way. And Lucas was very much like, and there's a little bit of insecurity that comes with, you gain weight, you aren't as strong as you once were, and there was a time where I could walk into some gyms and be like, I know I'm the strongest guy. Now I can walk into a lot of gyms and be like, I'm the strongest motherfucker here.
Yeah.
Lucas used to be that way of he could walk into a gym and he knew no one could out shoulder press him, or had his certain lifts that he knew that he was the strongest at, and at that time he wasn't at that peak.
Yeah.
And so coming into a gym where you see a lot of people where they're at their peaks, or are even if they're not at their peak, they're still way stronger than you. I understand that intimidation. Which, if you're intimidated, you need a little motivation, a little inspiration.
Way to stay on track.
I know that you can't see that. We got on topic. We wanted this segment to be all about inspirational people that we find inspiring, whether they are in the fitness community, whether they're not, doesn't really matter, but people that we look up to or that we follow that keep us motivated and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And person that jumps off for the both of us is Gary V.
Right.
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
We're going to tag him and probably, chat.
That'd be amazing.
Oh, dude.
You have no idea. Books. When you start talking. So I'll never forget back. So to start this, I was back at the first gym, and I found him and loved him.
Yeah.
Immediately gravitated towards him. I've turned so many people onto him because he's great for every industry. It doesn't matter. He's big on the tech side and social media.
Yeah.
And now he's dabbling on the side of sports with agencies and stuff like that, player signings. But any industry, just to find motivation in life.
Yeah.
And I would, back when there was a battle between him, I can't remember the other guy, Casey something.
Neistat?
Yeah, he did a daily vlog.
Yeah.
And Gary, I remember, was like, oh, I need to start doing that too. And I watched him every single morning. He got me back into journaling, and I would sit down and write out the plan for the day and what I had to do to stay on our task. And then I got, into his books, and I got name something on his, I would talk about him as if I knew him.
Yeah.
I looked up to him, never got to meet him. I remember even on one of his Instagram pages, I had wrote a message to him, and he responded back, and I was like, oh my God, fucking Gary V. I wish I could go back and find it. I've saved so many of his videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've referenced a lot of his speeches.
Mentalities.
Everything. I mean, he's just a fucking hustler, a go-getter. There's a lot of comedic stuff that he's said that has mirrored my life, where I'm like, oh my God, so I've just named some. I got his books at the house.
Yeah.
Anything about the dude, I like where he came from in life, from literally nothing and built what he's done. So to those people who think that it can't be done, it absolutely can be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But as far as like looking up and motivated, and no matter what, business, lifting, life, friends, whatever, he's a huge aspect of what I do.
Yeah.
So
For me, Gary Vee, Chris Jericho, even though I had the awkward handshake interaction with him, because for him it was always, he was too small for wrestling. He did wrestling anyway. He got big in wrestling. He wanted to go do music. He said, "F it, I'm going to go do music." I'm going to do the things that I want to do because I love doing them. You can come for the ride if you want to. And has everything been successful? No, but he said, "I want to do this thing. I don't care if I'm in this lane right now. Let me jump into it. Let me see what happens." And my wife will tell you, when it comes to my interests, they are wide and vast, and the idea of sticking to just one bores the hell out of me. And so to see someone else who has had that vast array of wants and aspirations, and then to go after each one, not all at the same time, because you got to set priorities, you got to figure out what the right path is, but to have that is as a guiding light kind of thing, or something to aspire to, is awesome. I love that.
Yeah. No, my sister back in the day, I used to joke with her. I used to call her a hippie. Yeah. And it wasn't. She called me. She sat me down one day. She's like, "You do understand what a hippie is?" I'm like, "Yeah, blah blah." And I'm telling her, and she's like, "You know, you're the hippie, right?" Because I would do the same thing. Like I was going to go be the Marine Corps, and then was to the Army, and then I wanted to go do this business, and like everything I've done, like Lady Juice beard oil, and open a gym, and then the moving company, and like whiskey. I was going to make my own whiskey, and then I was going to have a chicken farm. Like all these things, just to dabble and to build, to try. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like to just sit in one thing, and even in powerlifting, like I like the style that I've followed for many years, because it's not always just back squat, back squat, back squat.
Right.
85, we change it up. We throw some bands, we throw some chains, we go against. We keep it fucking fun every week. And it's not always squatting on Sundays and Mondays. It's deadlifting. But even like the way I program, it's like, I used to follow them. Pull downs, 4x12, Monday. And I'm just like, Jesus, man, can we do something different?
I mean,
so even on that, just keeping shit fun. Like, I don't just want to just stay in one spot,
That's exactly it. I mean, when I started coming to the gym, what did I did powerlifting. Then I was like, I want to try strongman, and now and then I was like, I'm back to powerlifting, and now I'm like trying bodybuilding, and they're like, I have all of these interests, and it's because I see people like Juji and that have that interest as well, and I see them excited for it, and it gets me excited for it, and so it's. One of my wife's biggest headaches is that I don't stick to anything, and so it's like, it's just because there's so much that I want to do, and so if I want to do it, just go for it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I want to go and do. I want to go try things.
Well, and that's why, speaking of that, but coming back to inspirations, Mariusz Pudzianowski.
Yeah.
Like I idolized him. I wanted to be like him, look like him. Like what did Mariusz do? And this is back when I was younger, and realized like everybody is always like, oh, what did Dan Bell do? What did Mariusz do? What did Arnold do?
Yeah.
Well, like it's not about what they're doing now. Let's go take a look at what they did to get to what they're doing now. And that kind of hit me. I was like, oh, we got to go back. We got to get a foundation.
Yeah.
I can't go out there and lift 420 pound stones like Mariusz yet. Shit like that. But like, just where he came from, generally the smallest in the field, and things like that, and how he took down the giants, and I don't know. I looked up to that.
Yeah.
That was always something. But then, like I said, his work ethic, his physique, everything about him.
Yeah.
And then also like strongman was like a dabbling of everything.
Yeah.
That's why still to this day, as much as I love powerlifting, like I'll still say like strongman is like the ultimate sport. It's like CrossFit and powerlifting had a baby.
I've always said that.
I mean,
that
like
strongman is fat man CrossFit.
It is. You have to be strong. You have to be agile. Like those dudes are literally running around with your max squat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And CrossFit, I mean, I know they're not doing push-ups and handstands, but you have to have some semblance of conditioning.
Right.
And that could be your weakness, and what may actually have me beat you in an event that you're actually stronger in, but weight-wise, but I'm able to move the weight because my conditioning is a little more up to par. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, so that tie in there with Marius, you know, as well.
For sure.
So,
is there anyone else that jumps up right off for you that you're like, when I think of inspiration, this is a route that I go down, you know, like.
I'm trying to think in lifting. When you were talking about wrestling, and staying on topic, you'll know his name. I forgot it. He's a wrestler out of Iowa. No arms, no legs.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
I have his book at the house.
No.
But it takes a good book for you to grab me to read a book.
Yeah.
Like I'll have like 19 books going on.
Yeah. But
this book I literally devoured because this kid, like what he came from, what he did.
Yeah.
Like I was like, man, this fucking kid.
Yeah.
And I have the book still at the house. At the end of it, he kind of writes about how he learned techniques to take people down who had arms and legs.
Right.
How he would take you down. He would use his chin and his nubs to pin you. And then he came up with a whole way to work out so he could still do legs and he could still do arms, not having legs and arms.
Yeah.
And I was like, motherfucker, like, so something like that just kind of like motivated me. Like, here's this kid who literally, I mean, he still has life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Things are much harder for him, and look at him make it. Motherfucker, you got 2 arms and legs. Like you can go do it.
You can go do it.
You know, exactly. And that's what this book did. So not only did that book grab me, I read it. Like I didn't put the fucking thing down. I read it, and so that was something more on like the life tip of like, hey, stop bitching.
Yeah.
You know, you wake up, you got to kick your fucking covers off. This kid didn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you got these motherfuckers. You're walking, and that just makes you appreciate certain things. And that was one. And there's been other things since, but that was one of the first times where something like that hit me.
Yeah.
As far as like when people bitch about life, you know, and this kid's not.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, down your wrestling route. And he was like a champion and like all that stuff. He had titles, you know, and out of Iowa, so Chris or something like that. I can't remember.
But I know exactly who you're talking about.
But yeah, he's another one as well.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see.
Anybody in the lifting world?
Outside of Marius,
I was gonna say everyone in this gym is like another stepping. This is gonna sound weird, but like everyone in this gym is like a ladder, for everyone. Everyone is pushed by each other, and our drive to raise them up while also trying to get better than them. The competition is inspiration in of itself.
So there's there's a story, and it goes back to Louis when you're starting talking about what you're talking about, and Louis was asked one time, and if I'm butchering the story to the true West Siders, you know, correct me, but he was asked.
No, come at us. Give us the comments.
I want to know the real one.
Yeah.
But he was asked, who are your 2 best lifting partners? Who are your best training partners?
Yeah.
And he said Chuck Vogelpol and Dave Tate. And he was asked, well, why those 2? He's like, well, Chuck's strong as fuck. He's like, I want to beat him.
Yeah.
Well, why Dave Tate? He's like, well, because I'm stronger than Dave, and Dave wants to beat me, so I got to stay the fuck away from him.
Right.
So that story, as far as an inspiration, has always inspired me to get the fuck away from him and chase after you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Jody's coming after me. He's hungry.
Yeah.
He wants to take me. I'm not going to take him.
Not going to let him.
But I'm going to take you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so that was, as far as stories and lifting, like that story has always kind of stuck with me.
Yeah.
You know, even in here, our rivalries.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when we have the board, you know, like everybody's goal in here, and this isn't a knock. Like it's just some people. Like guess what? You know, like when Tiff goes on the board for bench night. Okay, like out of it, that's just where you go.
Yeah.
Her goal, her dream, her motivation should be to start fucking clipping motherfuckers off.
Right.
You know, get up there, take out Chad and Dylan and me and Buddy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, not saying it's never gonna happen, but because she's raw, we're also gear.
Yeah.
But like that's something, you know, like when I see the lineup and I'm like, all right, well, I see Buddy and Dylan and CJ on deadlift night. I'm like, coming for you motherfuckers.
Right.
That fires me up. I don't want to be. You know,
yeah.
I don't want to be in the middle. I'm hungry. I want to go here and here and here and here. You know, so things like that.
Yeah.
So that story has always resonated with me.
Yeah.
You know, to just stay hungry. You know, don't get complacent. The moment I get complacent, Jody takes me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Down the board.
That's the thing. Like I got to stay fucking hungry enough to stay the fuck away from him, but hungry enough to overtake you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I'm going to stay away from him, and I'm coming after you.
Right.
You know, I will take you.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're not
yeah.
touching me.
Yeah.
But that's how I am personally, you know?
Yeah.
And what that means to everybody. So, like I said, as far as inspiration in the lifting world, that story is always
Your
stuck with
wrestler's
me.
name? Kyle Maynard.
Kyle.
That's it.
Chris, Kyle, you know?
We all
But
know
Maynard,
Chris
yeah.
and a Kyle.
Yeah. It's a fucking amazing book.
It really is.
It's a good book.
I haven't read it, but I have heard.
Remind me Wednesday, I'll
Yeah.
bring it.
All right.
Yeah. I have
Perfect.
the book at the house.
Nice.
Yeah. Good inspiration just for like, guy, your life is not that fucking bad.
Yeah.
You know? And that's kind of what I took from that book. And there's just the shit he overcame. And still was a fucking champion, man.
Right. Yeah.
So it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll bring it to you.
Definitely.
So.
Leave yours in the comments. How about that? Plug for, hey, comment down below. We only have like one bot that comments every once in a while.
Barbara Jimenez, who's your inspiration?
Yeah, Babs. Come on down. Comment who you think is super inspirational. And yes, I know it is me. It is Austin Pistulka at Radio Guy Austin on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks so much for joining us. You're Alan Pilley.
That's right. At Alan Pilley. At Lady Juice Beard Oil.
That's right.
That's it.
That's it. At Actually Average on TikTok, we are getting we just surpassed 7,000 followers, and
Really?
we are inching our
We
way
are 33 or 34 on YouTube.
Yeah.
We picked up. We're in the 30s.
Let's go, baby.
I know, right?
Climbing.
Yeah.
Making the climb. We're coming after Gary V.
And tell these people we're at all 32 spots they can watch our podcast.
You can watch the podcast on YouTube, but you can listen to the podcast.
Listen. My bad. Listen.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Anchor is a place where you can get it. Pods Are Us.
Anchor and Gary V. I love that. I told you that
You
story.
told me that
That's
story.
a great story.
That is a great story.
God.
And actually, because of Anchor, we're going to be able to make a little money off this podcast. I'll explain that in another video, or actually just
4-cent paychecks. The stamps cost more.
stamps. Who uses stamps anymore?
I do. When I ship product.
When you shit product?
When I ship product.
You shit your pants?
Yeah,
You shit your-
that Kmart.
I love that
I
Kmart
ship my
commercial.
pants.
All right, we
But
got
yeah,
it.
when I ship product out to people, I have to buy stamps.
Man, gotta. I don't know. I've lost.
Gotta.
Goodness. We're out. Thanks everybody for stopping by. We'll
See
be
you
back
guys
next week.
And I was like, man, he left one hair. Like, why did he leave one hair? Like, come on, man.
Guys, so have some more respect for than that. You know, to leave one long hair.
Yeah. No, that I told you that was gonna be fucking terrible. That is a hideous
Like
image.
those old Asian women that just have like the mole with one or two long.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll pass on that.
I did that to
I
Liz.
still can't uncurl my lip from that thought, Jody. I'm trying. Even as I'm looking at you, I'm still like, ew. And I'm trying actively to uncurl my lip. I feel bad looking at you like this, and it's not you. I still have that image, and I'm like, and I'm over here looking at you like, yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'm trying.